Hello, everyone, and welcome. I would love to welcome you to this amazing call where we're going to be talking about maintaining a health state of mind as you're actually preparing your trip to go to the UK and probably if you're helping someone. I'm going to share some of the tips that I've come across and some of the experiences that I've actually come across that can actually help you because you're actually probably doing the same process and doing the same thing. So I'd love to welcome everyone. Please, in the comment section, can you please comment where you are joining us from and your name? I want to shout out your name right now and let you know that we are here. So I see that there is Brandon. I would like to welcome you. And there is Karazi Ngari. Okay, sorry if I actually pronounce your name wrongly. I see Concilia from South Africa, and I see Marlon Takuzwa, Innocent Jacob, and other amazing people that are actually joining us and leaving comments. So thank you so much for being part of the course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and then talk to you guys. I'm going to talk to you a little bit, and then I'm going to give you a chance to ask questions. I want to make sure that this meeting is about you so that you get to ask questions in terms of the process of going to the UK as a nurse aide. Listen, one moment, just going to share my screen and let me know. I'm sure you guys can see my screen right there. So how to maintain a mental health care is you are planning to travel to UK as a nurse aide. I understand that in Zimbabwe right now and some of the parts of the world, there is a global movement. And in this global movement, a lot of people, they're traveling to they're making plans to travel to the UK. And some of you guys may have someone who is helping you. Some of you don't have someone who is helping you at all. So if you can see my screen, can you please comment in the chat box if you can see my screen, or just shout out that yes, you can see my screen, because I need to share some notes that I have right here. Okay, anyone who can see my screen? I suppose you guys can see my screen. Okay, I see a comment section.
Yes, we are seeing it.
Okay, absolutely. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kuda. My brand name online is called Kuda Online. And if you want to learn more about me, just go to our website, which is called kudaonline.com. And I want to tell you as well about the IELTS lesson that we are offering. Let me just take a moment to just go to the website where we are offering IELTS lessons. What is this? Okay, where is this? This is nyarionline.com. So you're offering lessons through this website, which is called nyarionline.com. Please, guys, if you need IELTS lessons, go ahead and learn from this website. We've got so much information right there. So yeah, now maintaining a healthy mental health care when actually planning to travel to the UK. So I've been one of the people that got a chance to travel to the UK, and as you can see, as I was actually traveling, I met Ronaldinho, the famous soccer player, and I asked for a picture with him at one of the airports. I think I was in fact, I was in Amsterdam, and I happened to bump into him. And it's one of the moments that I was so happy on my trip to the UK, but I arrived in the UK safely. So now to start off with, let us look at why and who should maintain a mental health state of mind. So the first group of people that need to maintain the first mental health mind is the people that are actually helping you, okay? The people around us, okay? The people that, this could be your mom, your father, your dad, your husband, or whoever is actually assisting you should have a mental health state of mind. So you are maybe in the position whereby you're actually helping your brother, a sister, and probably this brother is nagging you, giving you a headache and things like that. So you're going to understand that the process is not easy, and the process, it needs other people. So one way or the other, you're going to get a relative or friend who's going to tell you that I need help with my preparation. So if you're that kind of a person, then you should be one of the people to maintain a health state of mind as well. And then let us look at the second group of people who should maintain health mindset, okay? Health state of mind is the person who is going, the person who is you, while you're traveling and you are traveling and making plans about this. You need to have that good state of mind at most of the times. And I'm going to be explaining some of the experience that a lot of people face, some of the people that I've actually assisted, and some of the experiences that they had. And your spouse or your partner, okay? There's some situations whereby your wife is the one who's actually traveling, or maybe your husband is the one who is traveling. And in a relationship setup, okay, it could be your boyfriend, your husband, it can affect you mentally, okay? You're faced with this moment whereby you say, wow, my husband is traveling, okay, and what's going to happen to this, what's going to happen to that? Or you can be faced by a situation whereby you say, my wife is now traveling, okay, what's going to happen to this? Is she not going to get married when she gets there? Am I not going to get married? No, there's a lot of things that affects our mind as we're actually planning this journey together. Some of the partners, they already start fighting. I mean, someone can say, hey, you're not traveling, I'm not approving all this. I'm going to tell you some of the experiences that I've had, and some of the people that I've actually spoken to, and making sure that they understand exactly what they're going through so that they can work together and make sure that this is a success. Because some of the couples actually have actually gone to a point of actually canceling the whole trip to go to the UK because of information that has not been shared properly. And that's what I'm just going to help you with here. And let us move forward. So let me just summarize. The person who is going to the UK, you need to maintain a healthy state of mind. The person who is helping you, we've got brothers that are giving us money, brothers that are giving us advice. They need to maintain a healthy state of mind as well. And also your partner or your spouse, okay? So let us actually look at one of the most important thing that I want to tell you in terms of helping this. All of you, I want you to write down in the comment section. All of you, I want you to find an accountability partner, okay? When I'm talking about accountability partner, let me just explain the meaning of an accountability partner, okay? When I'm talking about accountability partner, think about this for a second. Who in your family, okay? It can be a relative or it can be a friend who has a positive mind. Someone who is just positive minded. I mean, someone that you go and speak to, and after speaking to them, you feel motivated, you feel energetic. I'm not saying this person is a person who is supposed to give you money, okay? There are people that are, when you go to them and say, can you please help me with money? They can actually assist you with money. But I'm talking of a person who can assist you with just positive feedback. I want you, don't comment their name in the chat box. Just comment that that person is my aunt. That person is my wife. That person is my brother. That person is my sister. That person is my ambuya. That person is. So just comment in the comment section that kind of person. And I'm going to explain once you leave a comment why you need such a person as you are planning for your journey. So let me see some comments right there, and then I'm going to continue. Let's actually go ahead and leave some comments, and I'm actually going to continue after that. Okay, let's see. I need to see the first comment, the second comment, and I need to see who is the person that is. So someone is saying my mom. Someone is saying my friend. Someone is saying Takuza says my friend. Uh, that's Nyemwe. Okay, saying my mom. So let's go ahead and comment those people. I want to share something that is really, really important. Someone says my sister. So you really need that person. Yes, why? So you're going to be faced with a lot of situations whereby all you need is someone who encourages you. You're going to be faced with a situation where you don't need money, where you don't need any sort of help, but you need words of encouragement. So when you speak to these people, even if they've never been in the UK, even if they've never done the process, they always say these words, Mwanangu, go ahead and do it, Snoita. Go ahead and do it, Snoita. You know, you just don't have to give up. Even if you say you could not afford a driver's license, these people, they are there to say, no, don't worry, Snoita, irrespective of the challenges that you're facing. When you don't have money, you go to these people, even if they cannot help you with money, they say, go ahead, never give up. Okay, you need to list down those people and make sure that you find those people. These are positive minded people. Okay, Get me right. This is the first person on the list that you need to get to. Okay, this is a person who is not jealousy about you. This is a person whereby if you speak to them, I'm planning to go to the UK, they open their ears to listen to you, to what you have to say. They are listening attentively and they say, well done, all the time. Okay, so you need those people. It can be one person, it can be another person. Make sure you keep them updated. If you get a driver's license, I've taken my driver's license, I'm going for TB test on this day, I'm going to collect my passport. Keep them updated. They never get bored with hearing from you. And the person that you need to avoid the person who gives you negative energy. There's one person who says, you tell them that you want to go to the UK, and the first statement that goes out of their mouth is something that discourages you. Okay, please stop communicating with those people and find that accountability partner and make sure that they know your wins and loses. When you win, tell them. When you lose, go ahead and let them know. I guess right now this is a moment of thinking about these people and how best they've been in our lives. So yeah, go ahead and speak to them about your journey, and also talk to them about Kuda. They say there's a guy who told me that I should get in touch with you. Okay, so let's look at facts that we need to consider when you where you get really confused when you're actually doing this whole process. I'm going to tell you why, because I've actually done this process. I mean, I know what you're probably going through right now. And so now the first time that happens when you get a lot of confusion in your mind is when you get the offer. Okay, when someone calls you, a relative says, hi, we have an offer, can you come to the UK? We want to you come to, you know, start thinking, me in the United Kingdom, and then that moment of the offer, I'm going to tell you what happens to most people. That moment when you get the offer is when you start getting confused. Okay, you start getting confused because the person in the UK or the person who has invited you is going to explain a whole lot of things, and you don't take it seriously, and you're playful, you're still okay with what's happening in Zimbabwe, and you have your day job, and then the next time that person calls you again, you're still confused. They tell you go and take a TB test, go and do English test, and you're this person who is just confused, who's all over the place. That's when your mind starts to that's when you need to have a good mental state of mind. So to do that, I'm going to tell you what I do, and I'm going to show you a timeline that I prepare for some of the people that I help in terms of what they should do so that they can avoid this type of confusion. So once you get the offer, you can't really get confused at that moment. Okay, so let us look at point number 2. Point number 2, we are looking at the process. Okay, the process of going to the UK. I mean, you have to attend lessons, you have to go for driving lessons, you have to stand in the queue, you have to stand in the line, you have to find out how to book English test, you have to find how to scan the documents, you have to find the whole process itself. Okay, it can affect you when you're actually doing. Think about it for a moment. When you're trying to do the process and you don't have money, and when you're told that there is TB test 338 that is needed, and you look in your pocket and you're like, wow, okay, so the process can actually be confusing as well. And then borrowing money, you know, in this process of going to the UK, you're going to need money, and we have people that love us, people that promise us money. Okay, they say, hey, when you're doing this process, when you at this point get in touch with me, I'm going to give you money. And then someone may give you the money, and probably you say, I'm going to give you next week, and next week you're still needing more money. Okay, so the borrowing process can actually affect your mental health care. So make sure that when you borrow, the people that you're borrowing from, they understand exactly what you're borrowing for and when you can actually pay them back. And then explanations. I'm going to talk about explanations when you're trying to explain to people the process of going to the UK. I've seen this happening to someone who was actually trying to explain to the husband about the process of going to the UK, and the husband seemed not to understand exactly what this person was actually was actually what the wife was actually talking about. And then that's when fights start. Okay, you don't understand, Baba Ningi, I'm trying to explain this to you, and oh, these are the things. And then now mumba, all these kind of things, they actually affect your mental state of mind. Remember at the beginning I said the person who needs a mental state of mind is the spouse, okay, or your partner, your boyfriend, or whoever, or the person who is helping you, okay, the people around you. They need also to understand exactly that this is a process, and the person who is going to the UK does not even know the process. So give them a chance to explain. Take time to listen to what they have to say, and make sure you also do research so that you understand the process that they're going through. When you do that, you're going to get on the same spot, and both of you are going to have a very good state of mind. Okay, let's see if I can move my slides to the next point, and then the travel itself, and then the last thing, learning new things. Okay, when you are also traveling, okay, I'll give you a very good example. When we're actually traveling, so we were told, in fact, it's not like we were told, but we thought that we could carry 4 bags. Okay, we thought we could carry 4 bags with us, 23 kgs each, and we didn't communicate with the person who booked our flight, and we needed to learn about it. Okay, so at the airport, when we go to the airport, and then we were told that we are now supposed to carry 2 bags, and then we had 4 bags. Okay, so we are supposed to take away 2 bags, 2 big bags that that we're allowed to carry, and then we had a few minutes, just a few minutes, to unpack our bags and make sure that we repack the process, we repack the bags. Again, we just had a little time. We're supposed to check in, the flight is about to leave, and I actually told my wife, I'm not going to pick anything, you go ahead and do that. And I see that I was putting pressure on my wife, and I noticed that she got to a point of getting a lot of pressure, to a point where she couldn't do anything. Okay, and then I said to myself, why am I not helping her? And then I went on to look what was in the suitcase, and then we had to help one another and things like that. So I looked at my wife, and I realized that her state of mind at this moment has been affected. Okay, so if you look at the travel again, it can actually affect you. One of the experiences as well that I had with someone, I'm going to tell you and give you examples, but let me go ahead and go to the next point. Now, the next point is learning new things. When you get to the UK, honestly speaking, I've actually shared a video in our WhatsApp group where we could not turn on the stove, the electric stove. It took us hours and hours trying to figure out how it's done. I mean, sometimes at some point as well, I couldn't lock the door. I mean, there's a lot of things that you learn, and your mental state of mind, if you don't learn to stay calm, if you don't learn to take it one day at a time, you're going to realize that this entire process is going to affect the way you think if you're not careful. So this whole process, from the offer, from the process, from the borrowing money, from the travel, from anything that you can do, can actually affect your mind if you are not really, really, if you're not really careful. So let us actually look. There's so many points where you need to look at in terms of when you really get confused. And I'm sure that people here can actually agree with me that at some point they were confused as well. So let me just look forward. Let me give you some very good examples. So like I said, I've actually helped a couple of people with the process of going to the UK, and I've kind of shared their pain points, their experience when they're actually telling me that they went through this. So I'm just going to give you examples based on the fact that I was actually talking about. So the first point that I can actually talk about is a lady called Notando. She's a single lady. She's not married, in fact. So not only she was actually doing her driver's license, and her accountability partner is the father. Okay, the father now is my friend. Okay, so he said, can you help my daughter to do the process? So she went on for driving lessons, and then when she failed, she went out crying. I mean, she was really crying. She was like, I've done all I can. I've done all I can. I've put all the effort, and I cannot really explain this to my father. I failed. And, she went out of the driving lessons, being in this state of being emotional. And if all of us were around this lady, we're going to encourage her, isn't it? We're going to say, no, it happens, take it easy, and things like that. But to her, she had a world of her own, where she thought that, I'm actually being pressed down here. This is not working. And everything was crashing in her mind and things like that. And thank God she went again for the road test, and then she passed exam. And then I'm going to talk about Tanya. Tanya is actually my cousin. And now Tanya, when she was actually traveling to the UK, she actually got to the UK. She had cash. Okay, she had cash money. And then when she got to the UK, she was actually told that she needs to pay for her luggage. And then when she wanted to pay for her luggage, when she got to the airport, she actually used a different airport. At some point, she was actually asked to pay for the luggage, and then she produced cash. Okay, I'm gonna pay with cash. And the guys there were like, no, we don't accept cash, we need a credit card. And now she was at a moment whereby she's supposed to get on a plane, and she's supposed to get her bags, and she's supposed to look for a credit card quickly. And all these experiences, they can actually take you in a moment where you think that, wow, really it's actually happening. And then I'm going to talk about Peter. Peter had a problem with her partner and relative. Okay, so in the case of Peter, the wife was the one who is invited to the UK, and Peter was now feeling that, hey, my wife is now leaving, her relatives now, they want to take my wife away from me. So now Peter started doing the whole process on his own to say, okay, if you travel to the UK, I'm also going to travel. So I had to explain to Peter and the wife, both of them, and explain the benefits of doing these things together. At the end of the day, if the offer comes to the wife or the offer comes to you, the husband, and you're supposed to travel, you need to understand that both of you in a partnership setup, you could be wrong. Maybe the husband, the way he's explaining to his wife is not clear. Maybe the wife, the way they're explaining to the husband or the relative is not clear. So there was a kind of a war, of a tug of war, whereby Peter is saying, this, you don't understand, and all those kind of conversations that happens between partnership. Okay, I'm sure that some of you can actually attest to this. And then I'm going to talk about Blessing. Blessing, her issue was about money. She didn't have money. I mean, she had to look for relatives to borrow the money and things like that. So when you're borrowing the money, someone promises you, someone doesn't fulfill, and someone gives you money, and someone wants their money there and then, and things like that. So I'm going to talk about Kero again. Now, Kero is a good friend of mine, and she didn't have very good knowledge with technology. When she wants to send an email, she struggles. She struggles to a point that it affects the way she thinks. Because if she misses the deadline when she's supposed to send the email, she gets so pissed off, she gets so agitated, she can't move. She's like, she's touching something that is hot. I mean, she's just shaking that, hey, I didn't send this email, I didn't scan my documents and things like that. And then the last example I've just given you is about myself when I couldn't turn on the stove. It really got me pissed off because I was alone in the house, and I then called my mzukuru to come and show me how this stove works. But that moment I was really hungry, I wanted to eat and things like that. So I'm gonna ask you a question. What is your case? What is that moment when you think about it? What is that moment when you think about it? It affects the way you think. It could be maybe you're going for IELTS lessons and you're not understanding what Coach Chinyari is saying. Maybe you're going for driving lessons and you're not understanding what the instructor is saying. Maybe you're really broke, but you want to go. Maybe you're looking for a sponsor and you're like, this thing does not really work. But what I don't understand is that the entire process for everyone brings them their own set of challenges. And then when their own set of challenges is brought to them, then it affects the way they actually think, and it really affects the mental state as well. So let me just go to my next point and see what's happening, and some tips that I want to give you in terms of making sure that you avoid or you keep a healthy state of mind is, number one, is to have a time plan. Okay, can someone comment in the comment section and say, have a time plan? I want to hear you. I want to see you comment and say, a time plan. I want to show you what my time plan is like, and I'm gonna show you what it is like, and I'm gonna show you the person that I've actually helped with a time plan, so that you understand exactly what I'm talking about. So let me see if I can just stop sharing my screen, and then I go to my time plan. Okay, let me go to my time plan. Okay, one moment. Okay, let me know if you can see my screen. I'm gonna start sharing my screen again. Okay, now, okay, someone is saying yes, they want to see my time plan. So this is an estimate. If I'm going to help someone with the process of going to the UK, the first thing that I do with them, truly speaking, I'm going to send you this. I've said this in the WhatsApp group as well. The first thing that I do with them is I look at the list of things that I needed. So that's the valid passport, up-to-date CV, and all these kind of things. So the moment you send someone this, remember I said that's a moment of confusion to them. Okay, now when they're confused, you need to make sure that they understand exactly what they're doing. Now I ask them questions. Do you have a passport? Do you have a driver's license? Do you have a CV? Do you have blah blah blah? Have you done IELTS? Have you blah blah blah? And then what I do is I try and create a timeline for them. So if you look at this timeline, I was actually doing this timeline for someone who is one person who's going to the UK, and so I kind of create a timeline whereby I do some estimates. So I say June and July, you want to make sure that you do this, okay? And then I put the amount right there. And then I say in August, you want to make sure that you do the IELTS lessons, and then you book the IELTS lessons, and then I put the amount. And then you need to make sure that in August, you do the driver's license, and you do the care certificate, and then you have pocket money that you can actually use. And then in September, I want you to apply for your passport. I want you to do vaccination. I want you to do TB test. I want you to do police clearance. I want you to do this. This is the month of September. We're actually in the month of September. This is what this person is supposed to work towards. And then in the month of October, she has to do a revision online of English test. And then she's going to write her English test in October. And then once she writes the English test in October, the price is like this, the price is like this. Connect with your sponsor. Once this person already has a sponsor, connect with the sponsor, and the visa fee and the money that is needed is this much. And then in November, that's when you're going to fly. An estimate of the amount of flight money that you're going to pay for a flight is this, accommodation, and to buy a car, and your pocket money in the UK. So I create a timeline whereby I tell them this is what you need to follow. So the first tip that you want to do is to kind of create this timeline to say, because when the confusion starts, it starts with, what am I going to do first? What am I going to do next? Okay, if you don't have that, then you're bound to be affected mentally as you're actually doing the process. You might find that you might do something that quickly expires and things like that. So let me go back to my slides and go back to the point that I was at. Okay. So I was at make a timeline. Okay, you need to make a timeline. And then the next thing that you need to do is to find an accountability partner. Okay, find an accountability partner, your mom, your sister, your friend. Speak to them every single day about the things that you're doing. For those of you who are part of my WhatsApp group, I ask you 3 questions. I ask you 1 question almost every single day. Progress check. What is it that you have done today towards your documents? What is it that you're planning today? What is it that you're planning this week to do? Those kind of questions kind of, make you in the motion. It keeps you going. It reminds you of the things that you're supposed to do. And then the last thing that I want to tell you is that make sure you ask for help. Whenever you need help, ask for help. Like for my case, I mean, there's some little things that are so dumb, some things that I don't even understand. I do ask questions about them. If I don't know anything, I honestly ask for help. I'm not really shy to ask for help, even if like the person who is helping me in the UK right now is Kamzuguru Kango. I mean, he is younger than me, but he has been here before me, and I always take time, but I always take time to be humble and listen to what he has to say. And then he's like, Kule, this and that, but we are laughing around and things like that. And then another thing that I want to tell you is that laugh, share jokes. I mean, if you find a meme about people going to the UK and things like that, people joke on social media and laugh. do share those, find those, and at some moment you need to laugh, because laughter is good for health. Okay. And then one last thing that I want to share with you is that pray for your trip. Okay. There is a lot that happens when you're actually planning to go to the UK. You need to make sure that you take time to pray for your trip. I remember one of these days I went to my pastor. I actually sat down with him and told him that, you know what, I'm actually planning about this trip and I don't even know how I'm going to raise the money that is needed. And he was like, no, he gave me what he had to tell me, and then he prayed for me. And every single day I was always checking on him, giving him updates, keeping praying about the trip. And at some moments, I've come to a lot of moments when I was really planning the trip, whereby I sat down and said, the only thing that I can actually get help from, the last hope that I have is hope, is God, because I go to a lot of moments where I couldn't help myself, and the people around me could not help me as well. So I only had to pray, and say, God, you are really my only hope. So above all, above everything that I've said, make sure that you take time to pray. It's not an easy trip. It's not an easy planning. There's a lot of things that comes with it, a lot of packages and things like that. So with that out of the way, I've actually come to my end of my session, and I'd love to hear questions from you. Okay, I only have about 5 minutes left to read your questions and hear from you guys. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now. If anyone wants to say something, unmute yourself. I see that Cribe Doe, okay, wants to say something. Go ahead and say something. We've got less than 5 minutes left.
Oh, yes, I just wanted to ask about sponsors. Can I really do without a sponsor if I have a little saving? And because there is this, I don't know if it's a grapevine or it's a misconception about when you get there, now the sponsor get almost 70% of your salary and thing. Can you please explain? I'm sorry, I got connected later.
Okay, so the thing is, I wanted to think about this. If you are going to sponsor yourself the whole trip, let's say you're going to pay for accommodation, flight, and things like that, it simply means that when you start working for that employer or sponsor, that means they won't take much from your salary because you've actually funded yourself. But if they're going to do everything for you, definitely they're going to take their money. And when they are taking their money, it may not be something that is favorable for you. So if you do have funds, yes, go ahead and do that for yourself. Like in my case, I actually did most of the things on my own. Okay, so Kundai, thank you so much. Kundai, can you please go ahead and ask? I see you want to ask something.
Okay, ndachida kubvunza kuti pamasponsor apa pane option, like une option yekuti sponsor can do something for you, you uchita something. Cannot sponsor can do everything. Is there an option? It depends with the sponsor.
So it depends with your sponsor. Nowadays, sponsors, they're looking for people that can fund themselves the journey. So like I said, the other previous question, you really want to think about if the sponsor is going to pay on your behalf, what is it that they're going to get and what is it that you're going to get? Is that making sense? And you need to look into that and be okay with the conditions that are there when that happens. A very good example, I could say, Kundi, I'm going to pay for you to come to the UK and then you work for me. And when you work for me, this is how much I'm going to take from your salary and things like that. Just like the previous person who asked, you said that a lot of people, they're complaining about that because at the end of the day, remember, if someone is going to borrow you money, you're supposed to pay back. And the moments of paying back, make sure you're okay with the conditions that they have when you're paying them back. So another question. Okay, yes, go ahead. Nyamwe, go ahead and ask.
Yes, it's Nyamwe. I just wanted to find out, I was looking at your timeline where you said, where you had written about proof of residence.
Mm-hmm.
In what format should I have it?
Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you. When I'm preparing a timeline, I prepare a timeline. I prepare a timeline based on personal based on the person's criteria, or based on the person's documents, or based on the person's situation. So if someone is married, I create a timeline for them based that they are married. And then when I create a timeline for someone who is single, who is traveling alone, I create based on that and based on the kind of documents that they have. So the timeline kind of helps them in terms of what they need to do. So in terms of the question, straightforward, going to the question, in which format should a proof of residence be? Like, some of the people that I've assisted, they've used an affidavit. In my case, I've used my my Zoe, my internet Zoe account, and another tier 1 account as well. So that's what I use as proof of residence. It can be in PDF format. So I'm gonna call out one last question. I'm gonna ask ITEL version to ask the question. We're almost coming to the end, guys. Less than a minute. Go ahead and ask.
Hi, good day. It's Concelia here. I just wanted to ask regarding the part of the CVs. There's a certain formula whereby the UK CV should be, or it's just a standard CV that everyone knows?
No, it can be just a normal CV as long as it has got the details that are needed.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And then the other thing is, I'm struggling to book the TB test. It's only one thing that I'm left with, and then I'm having struggles. Like here in South Africa, everybody's complaining with the same thing. I don't know whether it's their website or whatever, but I understand in Zim, everything is just easy when booking, especially the TB test.
Okay.